What it do? You're tuned into Up Next with Rob Dollars. What's going on, people? Appreciate you for clicking in, tuning in to Up Next. I am Rob Dollars, and I'm in the building, ready to give y'all some of my 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? Um, First episode up next. Let's get the introduction going. Rob Dollars. Who am I? Well, first off, Rob Dollars is not my actual name. It is a moniker, a stage name that I've carried with me since I was young, doing rap music. That's right, I spit them bars. Um, I don't got much out there, but you know what? Maybe I'll start dropping some things just as side pieces so y'all can hear some of that classic dollars. But in the last 3, 4 years, I've been playing in the podcast space. Last year was a super strong year for me and the team. Niggas Talk. We've been rocking for a little while. If you don't know, go check us out. Um, Google us. We are available wherever podcasts are available, with the exception of YouTube. We don't do video yet. It's a whole thing. We're working on it. But anyway, you listen to audio podcasts, you should be able to find Niggas Talk, and that's my team, one of my crew, my fam. Um, we a long time ago realized the conversations we were having where we push each other to really be mindful of how we're using language could be very insightful for other people to really experience and see and hear, so that they can understand, again, yeah, language is an art, and you got to work to come to levels of understanding sometimes. And it could be a rocky conversation, but you're supposed to respect the conversation. So that's what we do on Niggas Talk. Like I said, if you haven't been a part of that journey, please check it out. And again, there's plenty in there. We talk about everything on Niggas Talk, so you'll get a little bit of sports, but we do entertainment, politics, just life stuff, romance, and all of that. So again, we everywhere in Niggas Talk. Niggas Talk can have all types of tangents. Uh, whereas up next is all sports. This is my sports fandom moment for me to pour out to you, um, from the Beantown, from the Bean perspective. And why do I feel this is a thing that I really want to do is the media. I listen to mass media and especially in the Boston area media, and I'd be like, what are these guys talking about? That's a ridiculous line of thinking. The logic is off. I don't know if they watched the game like I watched the game. I question it a lot. So this is me being able to put my stuff out. Plus, I put things out to my own community of folks, and and cats be like, Bob, dogs, whatever. But then later on, it's like I wish I had that recorded so I could be like, remember when I told you? Here it is now. Here it is for prosperity. And so yeah, I'm gonna just give you some of that Beantown sports fandom. Hopefully I get to bring in some of my friends, you know what I'm saying? Some of the colleagues who I definitely kick it with on a regular, some of my real fam, you know what I'm saying, come through and drop some of that Beantown love for you. I came into it with the six on. I don't know if you can. The six is solid. You know what I'm saying. Start off with the biggest legend there is. You know what I'm saying. I know there's a lot of people out there have goat debates. There really isn't a debate. Okay, there is no debate. More rings than fingers. There's no debate. We'll go into that another time. We're going to that another time. Today I had to drop this because I really was committed to getting something in and putting something out during the NFL playoffs. I really was supposed to start this at the beginning of the NFL season, but life got in the way. But I'm settling things down, and the goal here will be to drop at least 2 episodes per week. I'm gonna try to keep them short and sweet, but I know how things go. I'm gonna be talking sports, so it might get a little long-winded. If I can, as I continue to grow, work on the editing and maybe chop things up, give you the intro. My 2 sports segments really are gonna be NBA, NFL, and then I'll have a 4th segment that I call the comeback. Rob Dollar's 2 cents on top questions that came from the mass media sites, and I'll give you some more info on which shows I'm watching and following. Um, so those are going to be like the regular 4 segments. I probably will take a small break ish between the end of the NBA season and the beginning of the NFL season, but I won't leave y'all completely abandoned. I'll try to drop some episodes. I do enjoy my MMA. So, you know what I'm saying? We talk UFC, the PFL, One Championship. You know what I'm saying? I like all of those. Um, Definitely get into a little bit of golf because I'm becoming a golf enthusiast. If you ain't played the game, you don't understand how intricate it is. You should definitely not judge a sport that you have not played. Playing the sport is what will make it interesting to watch, and you start to learn to love and enjoy it. So I try to dabble in everything. I do love all sports, and I mean that. I've watched college volleyball. I watch baseball occasionally. Soccer is in my wheelhouse. You know, I get mad watching soccer because I just be like, it could be a so much more exciting game, but they don't attack enough. There's a lot of like watching soccer that ends up watching people play keep away. I didn't tune in to watch keep away. I want to see somebody try to score goals. I want to be goal. That's the whole thing. Anyway, I'm on a tangent. Let me come back. Who's up? Come back. So that's the end of my intro section. We're going to go ahead right now. I'm going to dive into, first and foremost, the NBA. Try to keep it short and sweet, and then move on to the NFL. So let's get into the NBA real quick. NBA Madness. Here we go. We are just past the midpoint in the NBA season. Everybody's at or a little bit above the 40-game mark. And it is been an exciting, interesting season thus far. I have made sure to put the standings in front of me so I don't misquote or misspeak. Yeah. All right, we good. And so yeah, the idea that parity in the NBA doesn't exist was a conversation for years and years and years. Now I feel like there is true parity in the league, more so than ever. And I'm excited. I'm excited about the NBA. Season's been great so far. What I will say, let me see. Let me go back. Because, you know, I did take some time and put in some thought. So let me go back and look what I got here. Okay, all right, cool, yeah. We're going to start with the West. I'm East Coast kid. I'm going to get to us last. We'll do the West Coast first. So out in the West, which, you know, the West has always had a huge amount of talent out there. You know, sunny California, all of the, you know, sunnier, drier states down there, Phoenix, you know what I'm saying, Dallas, the Texas teams and all of that, you know what I'm saying. But honestly, the teams that are making the most noise are from the North, son. It's from the North. Because Denver, still the defending champs, and they look amazing. Not surprised that they are a top 3 seed right now, a top in the West. And I still feel like people are downplaying the support pieces that are on that team. They have, again, such a heavily talented starting 5 that when they rotate in their bench and their bench players don't need to try to step up into like a starting role and do more, they can play within their own rhythm and space as role players with Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. on the floor, because those 2 starters pick up their production a little bit when Jokic ain't on the floor, when Murray ain't on the floor. And they do a good job of not letting Murray and Jokic be on the bench at the same time, something that I wish more coaches would pay attention to. So Denver is a well-coached team, loaded talent-wise. So again, being surprised that they're a top 4 team in the West is silly. you should expect them to finish top 4. I do. So I'm not surprised that they're doing well. I'm also not surprised that the Thunder are doing as well as they are. I know a lot of people might be, but SGA has continued to rise as a star since he's been in the league. And Chet, once he got healthy, has checked in and actually checked off a number of boxes for me. He hasn't been one of these frail, tall, lanky guys. He has shown that he has a bit of durability in him. That's always, for me, the biggest concern with big men. And once they start showing that they have injuries, it's like, dude, just take the year off, because you need to come back fully healthy. Otherwise, you're not worth it. So Chet is checking off some boxes for me. I love what he's been doing. Who do I got on here? Oh, and the Timberwolves. Woo! Listen, amazingly, they are number 1 right now in the West. I mean, I think they are a talented team. Rudy Gobert notwithstanding, he serves his purpose. He's not as big a star as I feel like the contract he was given was ever really there. But they're a stacked team. They're loaded with talent, and Anthony Edwards has taken them over the top. He's literally right now taking the moniker away from Ja Morant as the most exciting player right now in the NBA. Anthony Edwards, the 1 spot for the most exciting player right now. I think it was last night or the night before, highlighted my man getting the up fake at the free throw, getting somebody out his way, threw it off the backboard, come catch it, plow. So, if that ain't exciting, I don't know what is. If you ain't watching, you're turned into the wrong games. NBA action is amazing. I did say I'd try to make this short, so let me speed up a little bit. The Lakers are such a disappointment. They start the league with this intensity, have all of this passion for winning the in-season tournament, and then as soon as the in-season tournament ends and LeBron's not doing playoff LeBron stuff, the Lakers go right back down to 10th place? 10th place in the West. And they seem like they might be dropping, not going back up neither. So, I mean, it's crazy, because I'm watching the games, and I'm really impressed this year by Anthony Davis. AD has been, for me, the problem for the Lakers for the last 2-3 seasons, because he doesn't consistently show up and perform. Now, last year, I think he learned the same lesson as Joel Embiid, which is stop falling on the floor. Because you fall on the floor is not giving you any kind of cushion. You're going to end up with more bumps and bruises, more owls and wows, and be out of games more. So I really appreciate that he's not hitting the floor as much. And then on top of that, this season especially, he's played offensively more aggressive and assertive. He's shown that he can take over and dominate when LeBron's not on the floor. So it's huge for the Lakers that he's stepping up. And yet, with him stepping up, Bron's still playing his level of ball where he's dropping 25 a night, basically easy. The Lakers are still losing, and I thought they would be better because I thought they put a real set of role players around these guys that should be able to contribute. Austin Reeves is supposed to be able to contribute consistently. D'Angelo Russell is supposed to consistently contribute. They paid Rui Hachimura. He's supposed to be consistently trying to come in and give you production. And I mean, I don't know that these guys are doing terrible, but they're clearly not doing enough, because their record has them currently at 21-22, just under 500. These are the Lakers who have Anthony Davis playing NBA All-Pro, All-Star level, and LeBron James, the GOAT of the era, and they're failing. I mean, if you haven't heard me rant in my pilot episode about LeBron, you should go check that out. I've always questioned his leadership level. I know that's going to get a lot of people like, woo! I have some points, but we won't go into them right now. That's a discussion for another day. Big shockers, the Clippers. The Clippers, I swore adding James Harden was going to be like a really bad, like, you know, when you're making something in the pot smoke, and you're like, it's missing something, and then you add a little bit, you're like, I think it needs more. And you throw more in, and they overpower the whole thing now. I thought James Harden was going to be too much, just a little too much star talent power on one team. I really did. But Russell Westbrook really maturing and accepting his position as de facto sixth man has really, I think, unlocked the full potential of this group of talent coming together. Kawhi has been and Paul George have actually both been healthy throughout the whole season. I really predicted that one of them would have to go down in order for the team chemistry and to balance out. They've been healthy and they've been killing it. They are currently the 4 seed in the West, and honestly, I think they might be the LA team of the year this year. Just again, after you heard me talk about the Lakers, you hear me talk about now the Clippers. Again, they might finally win out in LA for a season. I'm not saying just for the season, okay? Just for the season. And the Suns are such a hilarious clown show. I feel like in a way it might be a Kevin Durant curse because I feel like caved to some of the media pressure and maybe just flaked out as far as being a mature teammate when he left the Golden State Warriors. Going there people thought was a cheap move, which I can't be mad at. I mean, listen, the guy lost to him in the playoffs. They were already an unstoppable team that won a championship. He knows he's a superstar talent and he just joins that team and wins a ring. I get it. People are like, he didn't really fully, you know what I'm saying, earn it like NBA superstars normally do, like Steph Curry did. But at the same time, I thought that the dynamic of that team was so amazing that they could have continued to steamroll for years to come. And him letting the little griff with Draymond push him out the circle, I think that really messed up his whole image and mojo. And, he never recovered it. I mean, he played well in Brooklyn when he was available. That was like a small amount of time. And now he's in Phoenix and he's had off and on moments already in terms of his availability. And what's craziest about it is it seems to have been contagious because now Devin Booker's in and out a lot. They got Bradley Beal. He's been almost unavailable for most of the season so far. Again, there might be a KD curse, is all I'm saying. It might be a KD curse. And, it's weird because the Suns do look like such a fully loaded team. I love the talent of those 3 guys specifically on extremely high levels. But again, they're not producing, man. They're not producing. I'd love to see the Kings flourish more this year because Foxy is a dynamic player. He's an amazing player. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time ranting. We'll have more in the future episodes. But I'm not a fan of any West Coast teams. FYI, they are just teams that I watch and respect. So you're not gonna get a lot from me on West Coast teams. East Coast, Eastern Conference is doing its thing, and honestly, it's almost the status quo of the last few years, where we've got, of course, the squad, and we are number 1 right now. But the Celtics, how we work, we probably won't finish 1. We'll finish 2 or 3 because somewhere along the end of this season, things are gonna get a little bit wacky. But I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. I'm gonna keep the faith real. I'm gonna say we're gonna go ahead and keep charging forward. But I do have concerns about us. I have concerns with the coaching and the strategy that happens in game. And I feel like our talent has been overcoming those shortcomings. But can it keep doing that? And can it do it in the playoffs? Those will be big questions to be answered. We shall see. The Bucks are actually number 2 right now in the East. that's kind of amazing because I feel like the start of the union between Giannis and Dame was a little rocky. I don't know that I've seen uh, Middleton really uh, come back fully and kind of like he used to have moments of dominating a little bit. And I don't know, he's falling back heavy. So I'm not sure if that team balance is good enough to keep them going, but they are talented loaded as well. So, um, you know, it's amazing to me that they have Giannis plus both of the Lopez brothers on one team, and they've got Dame. Like they should honestly be an unstoppable force. So we'll see. We'll see where they end up. Again, that chemistry continues to grow, and as it does grow, you should be more scared because Dame has been Dame for a minute, and we know what Giannis brings to the table. So they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with if they really make this team chemistry thing happen. Typically, I do say that it takes superstars at least a full season before they gel and have an opportunity to win a championship. But pedigree in this situation might change it because I know Dame and he is hungry. He is hungry for a chip, and he's definitely a baller. So beware the Bucks is always a thing or has been for a little while now. And then top three in the East, number three, 76ers. Now listen, they've kind of done an addition by subtraction. They lost Harden, and you thought, well, now what are they going to do? Because Harden was supposed to be the piece to get them over the hump. But Harden left, and they fully unleashed Maxey. Oh my gosh. Maxey is on his way to being a true superstar. And I feel like they've also kind of reignited their use and attention in their push on Tobias. Tobias Harris has actually stepped up this season and been playing phenomenal. So, they kind of do still have a three-headed dragon to work with. And if those three guys can get the support from the rest of their team, again, there's another MVP race challenge coming up for us as the season ends. So I look forward to that. Disappointed in my secondary team. I do have a secondary team. There's some people out there, you can't root for two. I won't be vulgar, but I can do what I want, first off. And secondly, if you don't have a second team, I kind of think you're weird, personally. I mean, if you don't root for home team, what are you doing? And then you better be from another place if you don't root for the place, the team where you're at. Like, that's weird to me. I'm just telling you right now. Seems like a violation. You should always root for your hometown team. Anyway, the Heat. The Miami Heat. I'll be honest with you. There's a small part of me that thinks that maybe they're overachieving. I love Jimmy Butler, but it's weird. During the season, he's not as dynamic. But in the playoffs, there's nobody else I want to have as a second main scorer than Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler will light it up. The problem is that he's in Miami and looked at as the first option, and Bam hasn't really blossomed to fullness to be able to take the weight off his shoulders. And so if that doesn't happen, I don't know that Miami ever really gets over the hump and wins a championship with their current configuration. But again, and they're really right now, like I said, they're in sixth place in the standings, below the Cavs and the Knicks. Two teams that are playing up. They're playing up above their weight class, or maybe starting to, I should say, play to the fullest of their potential. But I'm disappointed in the Heat right now. I will keep my eye on them. We will continue to break things down a little bit more detail as the NFL wraps up, and I can take more time to really dig into the NBA. I know in last night's action, the Celtics finally had their home court winning streak snapped. At least it was done to us by the defending champs, the Denver Nuggets. So take a little solace in the fact that it took the champs to take us off that pedestal or get us off that block. But it was a close game. It was a game that the Celtics should have won. They literally need to learn to go to the freaking rim. Like, please. I don't have a problem with any and everyone on the team having a green light to shoot threes. I have a problem with you all deciding that the only shot you can shoot is a three. Don't ignore that you're 10 feet from the basket now and no one's close to you. Take the easy shot. 2 points count. They all count. Make 2-pointers. They literally went 14 for 44 from the 3-point line last night and lost by like 4 points. Lost by 2 points. Lost by 2 points. All I'm saying is, if you take 15 of those 3-pointers and you make them layups attempts, and then you only make half of the layup attempts, that's like 14 points. You would have won easily. But you all refuse to make you know what? I was about to start ranting. I'm going to stop now with the NBA talk. NBA is wrapped up for the moment. Boop, put a button on it. We're going to move into the NFL because it is that time of the year, people. It is that time of the year. NFL playoff action. I'm upset I didn't get to you guys before the wild card weekend. We are here in the divisional weekend, and next week will be the conference championships round. Divisional wild card week went mostly how I thought it would go. But I won't regurgitate on that. I'm gonna go forward, not backwards. So we're gonna talk about the division round and what we have to look forward here. Pulling up my notes. If you do these things, you really should have notes because it's too much. It's too much. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of thoughts. Here we go. Back. Again, guys, first episode, we'll work out the kinks. I promise it'll be smoother. All right, let's talk through the matchups that are left for the NFL playoffs in coming this weekend. Today, as a matter of fact, today is Saturday, January 20th. And we have on slate the the Houston Texans are going up against the Baltimore Ravens. This should not be a difficult game. It's a rookie quarterback who's far exceeded all expectations going up against a experienced MVP quarterback who's super hungry for a championship. The Ravens defense is more than adequate to give anyone a challenge, let alone a rookie quarterback. I am not going to sugarcoat it. CJ Stroud is playing lights out. He's balling. And he's lifted a team that I don't think anyone expected to do much of anything past all expectations. So, and I do see him almost as a younger junior version of Lamar in terms of his ability to be athletic, get outside of the pocket, take yards when they're available. But he seems to be playing with a little bit more of an advanced maturity because he 100% plays from the quarterback position, which Lamar is doing now, but he did not do as much when he first got in the league. Some of that is coaching, of course, and strategy, but all I can say is CJ's been obviously put in a better position than I think most of us expected him to be, and he has definitely picked his team up in their play. So I do expect the Texans to represent themselves well. I feel like they're playing with house money. They're playing carefree because, like I said, they've exceeded all expectations. And the Ravens will have a lot of pressure on them because they can't go out right now. I mean, losing here, this is their first playoff game because they had the bye last week. So if they lose, I think it really is a black eye for them, a black mark on the record. Get knocked out by a rookie quarterback, that would be a telling tale. I'm not sure that with all the talent that they've amassed in Baltimore, that they can afford to lose this game. Um, I'm not sure what would happen. I would hope that they don't have a knee jerk reaction because I do believe they've built up the talent in Baltimore to be amazing for the next probably 3 to 5 seasons. But you got to have continuity and you got to have commitment. I know they just paid Lamar a huge stack of bread, so will they be able to keep and hold on to the pieces they need to keep them at the top of the heap for the next couple of seasons? It's a we'll see thing. But right now we need to be focused on this game. They need to be focused on this game. I am expecting Baltimore to take care of business. But again, huge salute, heaps of respect for C.J. Stroud. He's been balling out of control. I just like that. I like that matchup. Next up today, we have the Packers taking on the 49ers. This is another interesting scenario of high expectations versus no expectations. I mean, listen, Love was supposed to make sure that he stepped on the field this season and represented himself well. You know what I'm saying? He can't be stepping into the shoes of Aaron Rodgers or to the fill the void of Aaron Rodgers and drop a goose egg. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't. He stepped in. It was a rough start, but their second half of the season is on par with one of the best second half of the season played by any team. And so, their running back, who I can't name right now, but don't hate me on it. He's been given the right kind of production, and Love has been very cool and poised in the pocket and on the field in general, and that leads to a level of and quality of leadership that I think has really lifted them up and again allowed them to exceed expectation. Because at the end of the day, Green Bay, I think, basically just needed to have close to a winning season, and it would have been like, cool, we can build off of this and move forward. Because again, this is year one of Love. But for them to have closed out the season the way they did, to knock off the Dallas Cowboys, that was exactly what I wanted to see happen. Because I hate the Cowboys, FYI. I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of the way they get so much praise and accolades for players who are mediocre, you know what I'm saying, at best. And the media attention draw is just bananas. I'm going to stop talking about them because they're not even in the playoffs anymore. They're out because of the Packers and because of Jordan Love. So they've already, again, exceeded expectations, much like the Texans. And then you've got the 49ers, who are a fully loaded team. Again, number one seed. They had a bye last week. They didn't play. They should be well rested. They should be healthier. McCaffrey, Debo, Kiddos, they just do their jobs. They do their jobs. And Brock Purdy. It's sad. It's sad that people don't respect the work. I do, Brock. I respect the work. You've been doing it. And you just keep doing it because the work will speak for itself. So keep doing what you're doing. Fully expect the Niners to steamroll the Packers. The Packers have, again, done more than they were expected to. They've done what I think is a bonus in kicking the Cowboys out. So salute to them. Congratulations on an amazing season. But the 49ers should roll here. Again, they're defensively stout. I won't, you know, Bosa and all the crew is right. The crew is right on the Niners. They got a good defensive line, a decent secondary, and then offensively they put up points, and they control time of possession. So, I mean, they do all the things that you want a team to do to win. I expect them to take care of business. I'm looking forward to seeing the 49ers in the next round. Following that, tomorrow we got two more games. We got the Tampa Bay Bucks versus the Detroit Lions. You know what? Playoff matchup wise, these are two teams that I would not have said at the beginning of the season were like gonna face each other. The Bucks definitely have, you know, I guess they had a decent chance because they're in such a terrible division. They had a decent chance to possibly do something, but I really didn't expect it. I don't think anyone could have. But I do say that Baker Mayfield is an underrated quarterback, that he's been kind of shafted. I felt like his loyalty to Cleveland was far exceeded on his end and not matched by the actual franchise, because they asked him to, you know, go out there and play, even though they knew he wasn't 100%. And then he balled out, even though he wasn't 100%. And they still said bye to him. Just I don't know. The guy who lifts you out of mediocrity can't be the person that you decide is the first one on the chopping block. So I'm not surprised that they've now re-entered the carousel of quarterbacks scenario that they had been on for who knows how many seasons before Baker Mayfield arrived. And it seemed like they're back on it again. I mean, literally in one season, they went through 4 quarterbacks. So, I mean, if you don't call that a carousel, maybe it's a roller coaster or, you know, some other more exciting ride in the amusement park. I don't know. But the Buccaneers have exceeded expectation, but at the same time, they are playing to the level I feel like they can play when you consider that they still have carryover from the championship team that played with Tom Brady. That's an experience that really elevates you. It changes you and grows you as a player and as a person. And so having that on the squad, getting Baker Mayfield there, Todd Bowles, proven that he can coach up a team. I'm excited for them. I love that they've made it this far. We'll see what happens in this game because I consider this game a coin flip. The Lions, to me, are still truly untested. I'm also concerned that, you know, when they have exceeded or finally like reached a milestone, that they have kind of over celebrated and blown the wad basically. And so then they come in the next week and they don't have the focus, the intensity that they need to continue the journey. So, I mean, them winning that playoff game last week, beating the quarterback that left them in Matt Stafford, I think that was such an amazing moment for them that I don't know how much more gas they have in the tank. I am happy that it happened that